Why do I have a feeling that Ayano's mother compared Connie to Ayano when she was training her? Because when you think about how malicious Connie was towards Ayano throughout this episode, or at least the second half, it all points to that. And if that is the case, then Ayano's mother is even more of a piece of garbage than I first thought. I was willing to kind of excuse Ayano's mother, because there could have potentially been reasons. But the more I look now at the situation, especially after this episode, I really can't excuse Ayano's mother anymore. Because looking at Connie as a person and how she acted, it seems like there is a lot of, I guess, emotional weight when it comes to Ayano's mother, or whatever Ayano's mother did to her. Because when she ties up her hair in a very similar fashion, you see the little bow tie and all that pop up, and then she turns around, it's very similar to Ayano's mother. We see that obviously displayed in the episode. And that shows that there is a correlation between the two characters, and this girl was the one that was being trained by Ayano's mother. And the point about this, though, is for her to be so malicious towards Ayano, it must mean while she was training underneath Ayano's mother, that Ayano's mother was like, hey, look, you may be good, you may have won a lot of championships, got a lot of trophies, but you're still not as good as my daughter. So something like that seems like it was said. Because there's just no way you travel from Denmark all the way over into Japan where she's at right now and request a match where Ayano is at just to be able to beat her. In a 1v2 at that. Just like, huh? So, if that is not the case, then Connie, she's a really horrible person. It's one or the other. If it's not Ayano's mother that said something, then Connie is just straight up a horrible person. You just don't go that far just to prove a point, saying like, oh, I'm the better sister. No, I'm the better player. You don't do that. You don't. That's not normal to do something like that unless something happened in your past. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. At the same time, I'm wondering now who's really to blame. Is it the mother or is it Connie? Speaking of which, I do want to talk about Connie for a second. I don't really like how Connie's personality shifted in this episode. I mean, at the same time, I understand it's kind of realistic, because that is how people are. I mean, I know many might hate to admit that, but many people can just change like that. I mean, if you meet someone on the street, they're kind to you, you'll be kind to them most likely, if you're a good person. But if you were done wrong by them, but you're unaware of it, but then you find out you're done wrong, obviously your personality can just like, whoop, just flip like that. It's completely different. And that's what Connie did towards Ayano. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But at the same time, it is realistic. Stuff like that does happen. It does. And I'm not putting down the writing, because it's not bad writing, but I just personally don't like the personality shift. And Connie's just such a jerk. I'm just like, it's unbearable. I mean, the entire situation with how she was basically forcing her own teammate to just sit out on the side or play by herself was pretty awful to do. I mean, I would not have stood for that crap whatsoever. I'll tell you right now, if I put a lot of love and passion into badminton like they have, and then I had someone join my team that was a newbie and all that, and even if they won a lot of championships and trophies, whatever, I wouldn't care. You coming in here on this court thinking you're better than everyone else, and then you're not helping me because you want to be just with a stick up your butt and all that. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm sorry, I would not be dealing with that whatsoever. I'm very surprised with how the girl on the court did not just blow up and start yelling at her because of, what she did. But at the same time, Connie, she seriously needs to change a little bit. Like, her personality right now, it's not going to get her far, okay? Even if it was caused by Ayano's mother, her personality right now, it's not going to get her far in life if she continues to act like that and doesn't try to change. Now, I do want to mention something that was told to me on social media. Apparently, the anime is slightly different from the manga, and what I mean by that is the characters. Apparently, the story of the characters, like, personality-wise, there's some differences. Like, they're more aggressive, or their personalities are kind of a bit more exaggerated. For instance, the pink hair girl that we got a couple episodes back, apparently she wasn't as extreme as she was, and in this episode with Connie, she wasn't much of a jerk as she was in this episode compared to the manga. So, yeah, basically, the personalities of the anime are making characters a little bit more unlikable compared to its manga equivalent. Now, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. I don't know how the story adaptation is, but I was just told that the personalities of the characters seem to be a little bit more exaggerated or different compared to the manga, so I don't know how that's going to lead into the story later on, if it's going to change major things or if it's going to be bad. I have personally no idea. In this episode, our main female character, Ayano, she is finally taking steps to move forward, have a team, and be happy. And I'm proud of her. I really am. But at the same time, I'm a little bit sad that Aragaki isn't the focus. I was told last week in my episode review that apparently Aragaki isn't the main character. It kind of saddens me a bit. I really like, her character design, how her personality was, the character growth she got in the first episode, and even somewhat in the second episode. I'm kind of sad that apparently she isn't a main character. I mean, she is, like, the part of the main cast, but she isn't, like, the de facto main character like Ayano, which, don't get me wrong, I like Ayano and all that, but I really like, the try-hardness of Aragaki and how she tried to improve herself with just, sheer will. I thought it was really cool. So, I'm a little bit sad about that. At the same time, though, I guess I can't accept Ayano as one of the main focuses of the story. Now, speaking of the story and all that right now, in terms of progression-wise, we have the typical two schools going up against each other cliche early on in the series for this episode. We have these two schools that are most likely going to be fated rivals going up against each other to see who is better. And if I have to go with a standard sports cliche, most likely our cast of characters, they're going to get destroyed. But there is a possibility of a curveball, and the reason why I think that is because of Connie's personality. Because of how she is, how aggressive she is, how she obviously is not a team player by any means, most likely she could potentially cost her team a L. It cause it to where they lose, and Ayano's team is going to win, which would be a very different type of twist compared to the normal shonen cliches I've seen. But at the same time, though, I feel like they still might lose. And here's the thing, speaking about the loss. If Ayano does lose, I think Connie is not going to be truly satisfied if she understood the full picture. And what I mean is that, remember, Ayano, she's kind of out of shape. She hasn't been playing badminton for a good while. I mean, ever since what happened with her mother, now she tried to impress her, but obviously couldn't, and then, she eventually just gave up. I mean, she's not really in shape anymore. She hasn't really been practicing for a very long time, and she finally just started getting back into it. She's not fully passionate about it yet. Like, she's not, like, fully got her rhythm going to where she's like, holy crap, I really love this. She's getting really into it. She's getting into the groove. She's not back in it yet. And Connie, obviously, she's been practicing non-stop, trying to beat Ayano, and if Ayano does take an L here, I feel like Connie, if she understood, she's not going to be happy or satisfied, because she's not really fighting someone that's at her peak performance, because it's very apparent that Connie is way better than Ayano right now. And the reason why is because, once again, she's been playing non-stop. She's won a bunch of championships, trophies, and stuff like that. While Ayano, she's given up, and she just now got back into it. So, it's comparing someone that's rusty to someone that's been playing for a long time non-stop. It's just like, it's not a proper comparison or challenge between the two. So, yeah, I do feel like that's going to pop up most likely, and at the same time, it's going to be to where she's going to realize that they're going to need a rematch, and Connie is going to, realize once Ayano's back in the game, she's not going to be able to beat her that easy whatsoever. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to this episode of Hanebado. It's an okay episode. I just feel like in terms of personality-wise, I feel like I wish a little bit of it was toned down. I wasn't the biggest fan of Connie, but like I said, it wasn't bad writing. It just, I personally don't like characters kind of like that. But that's pretty much it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this episode, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like my video, please leave a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.